Hi, today I would like to do an overview of a Liftosaur scriptable weightlifting tracker and planner app. So this is a pretty unique app in the sense that you can define pretty much any possible weightlifting routine there. You can define any possible progressive overload, and the program that you create or pick will change over time based on how you define it. And you have a complete flexibility in that way. You can define around the exercises you like, the equipment you have in your gym, and you can specify how you want to change the program over time, like how you want to change weight, how you want to change reps, etc., etc. It's super flexible. As I said, it's scriptable, so you can write simple scripts to define the life cycle of your program. So yeah, kind of a unique app, and hopefully this overview will help you decide whether it's a kind of good app for you to use it in a gym or not. All right, let's check it out. So this is onboarding. Basically, the first screen you see after you install the app kind of gives you a story-like UI with overviewing different features. We can get started, and I need to pick my units, so I'll go with pounds, and now I need to set up an equipment. So this is completely optional step, but it's nice to do that. You can do that right now or during your first workout. Basically, equipment defines how the weights will be rounded, and they will be rounded basically to the equipment that you have in your gym. So I could hide things that I don't have in my gym. For example, I have a home gym. I don't really have a trap bar. I don't have leverage machine, Swift machine. I don't have cable. And for example, here I could set up the bar and the plates that I have. We can also again do that later during our first workout. So I just go continue. And now I need to pick a program. So Liftosaur works best if you follow a program. Well, and also your lifting results going to be way better if you follow a program. You still can do ad hoc workouts like in other workout trackers like Heavy Strong and whatnot. You can also go without program for now and basically iteratively build it from the ad hoc workouts over time. But yeah, you could pick one of the many programs that we have here. There are filters at the top that may help you to narrow down the list of programs that would suit your schedule or your goals. But for now, we could, for example, go with the GZCLP, which is a pretty good beginner, well, not super beginner, but the program that's suitable if you still can follow linear progression. So let's do that. Add up start. And the initial weights for GZCLP are defined as percentage of 1 rep max. 1 rep max is basically how much weight you could lift for only 1 rep. This is all the exercises that I need to set up. And if I tap here, I could say, for example, my 1 rep max for bench press is say 200. If I don't know what is my 1 rep max, but I know, for example, that I can lift, let's say, bench press 5 times with 195 pounds, 195. Then the 1 rep max calculator says that you probably can do 1 rep with 214 pounds. So you could use that, and that will be my rep max for bench press. Again, this is completely optional screen. I don't need to do that right now, so we could just do continue. And let's start our first workout. Right up here and start. All right, so this is my first workout. We're gonna do 3 exercises: squat, bench, and lat pull down. And if I scroll down, this is the stuff that I need to do for squat. So as I said before, all the weights are defined as percentage of 1 rep max. And 1 rep max for my squat is currently 135. I could change it to, let's say, 250. And you could see that the weights got changed. So 75% of 250 is about 187. It's rounded to my equipment again, so to the plates and bar that I have in my gym, and I could define it here. So the bar is 45 pounds, standard Olympic one. Let's say I don't have 1.25 pounds in my gym, so I can remove that. And now you could see that all the weights got updated, now rounding to basically again my plates and my bar. All right, so let's pretend I did the warm-ups and then I did all these sets here. And the last one is a AMRAP set, so as many reps as possible. So let's say I was able to do 5. So because I successfully finished all my sets, the GZCLP program prescribes that the weight should be increased if I did all the sets successfully. So we could see that the next time the weight here gonna be 195 pounds. And now I could switch to the next exercise. So here we have like this 214 pounds 1 rep max as we set up before during the onboarding. So let's pretend I did those. So this is like a T2 exercise, so the reps and weight are slightly different. The GZCL kind of framework defines like 3 types of exercises: T1, T2, and T3. So this is a T2, so it's kind of slightly more reps, slightly less weight than the T1. So let's say I actually failed to do all the sets properly. So for example, in the last set, I only was able to do 8 reps. So now we could see that this set variation will be changed. So the GZCLP, basically, if you fail, they switch to a slightly different set scheme. So they lower the reps and let you try kind of to work with the lower reps for a while until you fail, and then it kind of switches to another set scheme. And let's also do the lat pull down. Let's say I'm done. So you could see also that there's a rest timer that you could control. You can define the rest timer either globally or per exercise. For T3s in GZCLP, it's usually 90 seconds. You could see it here. And let's say I did like 20. All right, done. So this is our first workout. Yay! You could also sync to Apple Health if we want, or share it, look to social media. Continue. Oh yes. Cool. So that's pretty much it. Like you basically go over like day after day, and it will give you the weights and the reps that you need to do, and it will update the weights or like set schemes properly according to the program. So you don't really need to do anything. You just like go to the gym, tap the check marks, you are done, and over time it will kind of increase the effort, increase the volume, and kind of completely auto-regulates and removes all the thinking from you like going to a gym. All right, now we can see our just finished workout here in the history. And there are 2 main entities in the app. There are workouts and there are programs. So whenever you finish a workout, it actually changes the program under the hood. So under the hood, the programs are just text. It's plain text. And when you finish a workout, it literally rewrites the text of the program, and it changes the weights there according to your logic or reps, etc. So the only thing that program defines is what the next workout will look like, nothing else. So you can change the program at any time. Like you can run multiple program set-ons, or you can go without a program. The only thing that program defines is what the next workout will look like. So we could actually see what the program looks like, and we can go to program here and then tap edit. And if we go to this like code like thingy here, we could see actual text of the program. So it uses special syntax called Liftosaur, and you could see it here. You can basically just change the program by editing this text. We can see, like for example, all the logic that is defined for all the exercises. Like there are like 3 types of exercises, so we could see like T1 here, T2 here, and T3, and we see that the exercises just reuse those templates. So programs being text is actually a very powerful concept. So you could easily share that just by sending somebody this text, and they could import that program on their phone. Or you can easily edit it in any text editor you want. You can store it anywhere, like for example, even in Notes. The Liftosaur provides you like an IDE, integrated development environment, to edit those programs. So it will give you like the autocomplete, it will check the syntax for errors, etc., like syntax highlights. But yeah, so it's usually easier to do all the editing, like at least for me, on a laptop, because it's not really super convenient to kind of type things on the phone. But you don't have to also, like for example, if you need to do some quick changes in your program and you don't have a laptop around because like you're in the gym, you can still do a lot of editing through UI. So you could go there. For example, I want to change something for my squat. I noticed that by default, like for example, increases by 5 pounds, but it's like not enough. I want to do, I don't know, 15. So now it will increase every session by 15 pounds. Or for example, I want to tweak the weights. So I could do that, basically tweak the weight for every single set, and for example, provide different like weights for every set. Or I could like enable RPE or like timer or rep range. I also could change the weight, for example. There are like 2 tabs, so by every weekday or across all weeks. And here, for example, I could change the weight. I don't know, for example, 195 right now is too heavy for me. I want to do 180. So now you could see like all the sets got changed to 180. So this tab, like across all weeks, is usually super convenient, especially if you have like multi-week programs and like have like 21 weeks, and like changing weight for every single like 21 week is going to be a disaster. So you could use that to quickly adjust reps, weights, timers, whatnot across the whole program. All right, let's save it. All right, so for right now, we're just using kind of regular barebone GZCLP with just like one T3 exercise. For example, I want to add more. I want to add some kind of more maybe isolation exercises, and I want to make sure that the program is still balanced, that I hit all my muscle groups properly, and like with enough frequency, etc. So we could do that on the phone, but frankly, for like more or less large scope changes in the program, I prefer to use a laptop and the web editor. So let's check it out. All right, so I'm on liftosaur.com website and I'm logged in. So now I could go to your programs, GZCLP, and this is the program text on the left, but there's also pretty important information on the right. So on the right, I could see basically the total number of sets weekly. I could see split between strength sets and hypertrophy sets, and the hypertrophy sets pretty much any set that's over 7 reps. But the most important information is actually here. So this is weekly volume per muscle group in number of sets. So I could see that for shoulders, weekly I have 18 sets. So if I hover over mouse over this number, then I could see that the black one shows the exercises that directly target this this muscle group, and the gray ones are the ones that have synergist muscle group, basically shoulders. The number yellow means that I need to lower the number of reps a little bit. So red a lot, yellow basically a little bit, and the green color means like I'm within the range, for my basically weekly target for that muscle group. So I have 8 strength sets, 11 hypertrophy sets, and it's like 4 days a week frequency. So there's basically research that shows that for optimal muscle growth, you need to have about from 10 to 20 sets weekly per muscle group. So if you're a newbie, then you should be like closer to 10. If you're advanced, you should be closer to 20. But you can define that range here in the settings icon. This is basically kind of, I'm trying to be within like 13-15 range. You could change that. There are also presets. For example, advanced gonna be 16 to 20, intermediate 13 to 15. And synergist multiplier means how much we want to count the contribution from like synergist muscle groups to our overall number of sets. Like for example, like bench press, right? Hits triceps, but not directly. Directly it hits chest. So how much we want to value tricep here. So for example, I say basically we're gonna count it like half set, so 0.5. We could specify any number from 0 to 10 to 1 here. Cool. So I could see that triceps could do more work, biceps could do more work, and for example, for bicep, we could add like bicep curl, right? So bicep curl dumbbell, and we're gonna reuse the logic of T3 exercise. And then for triceps, what do I want for tricep? If I need some inspiration, I could click here, and we're gonna have this exercise list filtered by triceps. And let's say, oh, skull crushers. I like that. And also reuse T3 logic. So now I have 11 on triceps, 9 on bicep. Let's add maybe a hammer curl, also T3, and for day 4, I don't know, tricep extension maybe. Okay, so now I have 14 triceps, 12 biceps. That's better. I could basically rebalance it in any way I want to get like the desired split, right? So now I hit save, and that's it. I could use my new GCLP program right now. If I go to the phone, it's gonna be there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna add the link to the Liftosaur documentation to the video description. It goes over all the kind of syntax stuff and features of the Liftosaur language. So check it out. And yeah, check out the app, check out the Liftosaur, and hopefully you like it.